24th to 26th, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Get ready, London. Nigeria Week 2025 kicks off July 24th at the Hippodrome Theatre. Celebrate the giants of Africa. As the DG of the National Orientation Agency hits us with what makes Nigeria the true giants of the continent. Day 1 starts with a star-studded opening ceremony as we greet to Scope, Marvin, Boyson, and HP Zendo. Then, the UK Nigerian Creative Summit. Hear from Nollywood legend Zeb Ejiro, NBC DG on broadcast rules, and Film London on filming in London, and the British Film Institute on funding and distribution opportunities. Dive into panel and co-production and funding discussions and skill exchange with Middlesex University. Cap the night with a special screening of Zeb Ejiro's Sakobi.
Angela is not who you think she is. She's a demon. Who dies first?
It is a Nollywood Magic, Nigerian Week London 2025, where culture meets business. Tickets at eventbrite.com. The best of the best, July 24th.
Oh, what a day to be on a rise and shine on SR TV. Yes, today is a very emotional day for Nigeria and Nigerians all over the world. 48 hours ago, we lost one of our leaders, as the case may be. Former president, just the presiding president before Tinubu came into power, talking about no other person than Muhammadu Buhari. General Muhammadu Buhari. He passed away in a London hospital, and his corpse has just arrived as we're speaking right now. The ceremony is going to be a double-headed ceremony, the burial and of course the state function for a former head of two-time head of state, one-time head of state, one-time president, so two-time leader of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes, Muhammad, to some, he was an enigma. To others, he was a patriot. To so many others, he was a man that didn't direct the ship of stewardship as expected by a lot of Nigerians. Painful as it may look and as it may sound, in immortality, we celebrate you whether you did well or you did bad. There have been a lot of trajectory in the last 48 hours, some celebrating, some singing praises and all that. But let's look at the man, Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari was born into a Muslim family, and of course on 17th of December 1942 in Daura, now Katsina State of Nigeria. He was the 23rd child of Malam Hado Adamu, a Fula chieftain originally from Dumuku in Mai Adwa and Zulafa. He was named after the 9th century Buhari's great-grandfather, or rather, it was named after the 9th century Islamic scholar, talking about Muhammad Buhari, who was then named Muhammad al-Buhari. Of course, his grandfather, who was Yusuf, was a businessman. Buhari was 4 years old when his father died, and Waziri Al-Hassan, the son of the Emir of Katsina, Musa Danluhu, who reigned from between 1904 to 1911, became the guardian of Zulahat and her 6 children, including Buhari. Zulahat was Buhari's mother, for those of you that do not know. Muhammadu Buhari attended Quranic school where he helped in rearing cattle. He hired his primary education in Daura and Mihadwa and graduated in 1953. He was admitted into the Katsina Middle School, later renamed the Katsina Provincial Secondary School, where he had a secondary education from 1956 to 1961. During his sixth form, he served as the house captain and head boy of the school in 1960. He was awarded scholarship by the elder Dempster Lyons, the district head then, for a summer visit to the United Kingdom. Buhari wanted to pursue a medical degree to become a doctor. The only option at that time was to study pharmacology at the Nigerian College of Arts, Science and Technology in Zaria, now ABU Zaria, which would take him many years. He was advised by Mamman Daura to join the Nigerian military and pursue higher education there. In 1962, at the age of 19, Buhari was one of 70 boys selected for recruitment into the Nigerian Military Training School in February 1964. The Nigerian Military Training School was upgraded to an officer commissioning unit of the Nigerian Army and was renamed the Nigerian Defense Academy from 1962 to 1963. Buhari underwent officer cadet training at Mons Officer Cadet School in Aldershot, England. In January 1963, at the age of 20, he was commissioned the second lieutenant and appointed platoon commander of the 2nd Infantry Battalion Commander's Course at the Nigerian Military Training College, Kaduna, Kaduna State, from November 1963 to January 1964. In 1964, he further moved to the Mechanical Transport Officers Course at the Army Mechanical Transport School in Borden, United Kingdom. From 1965 to 1967, Buhari served as commander of the 2nd Infantry Battalion and was appointed Brigade Major of the 2nd Sector, 1st Infantry Division from 1967 April to July 1967. Following the 1966 Nigerian coup d'etat that killed the premier of northern Nigeria, Ahmadu Bello, Buhari, alongside other officers from northern Nigeria, took part in the July counter-coup which hoisted General Aguiyi Ironsi, replacing him with General Yakubu Gowon. Buhari was assigned to the 1st Division under the command of Lieutenant General Muhammadu Shua during the outbreak of the Civil War. The division had temporarily moved from Kaduna to Makurdi at the onset of the Nigerian Civil War. The 1st Division was divided into sectors and battalions, with Shua assisted by senior commanders Martin Adamu and Sule Apollo, who were later replaced by Theophilus Danjuma. He first served as the adjutant and company commandant, 2nd Battalion Unit, 2nd Sector Infantry of the 1st Division. Buhari stayed with the infantry for a few months as the Nigerian Army began to adjust tactics learned from early battalion experiences instead of swift advances. After the war, from 1970 to 71, Buhari was Brigade Major and Commandant at the 1st Infantry Brigade. He then served as the Assistant Adjutant General, 1st Infantry Division Headquarters from 1991 to 1972. He also attended the Defense Services Staff College, Wellington Cantonment, India. In 1973, from 74 to 75, Buhari was Acting Director of Transport and Supply at the Nigerian Corps of Supply and Transport. In the 1975 military coup d'etat, Lieutenant Colonel Buhari was among a group of officers that brought General Muhammadu Buhari, Murtala Mohammed to power. He was later appointed governor of Northeastern Region from 1st August 1975 to 3rd February 1976 to oversee socio-economic and political improvements in the state. On February 3rd, 1966, the northeastern state was divided into 3 states, Bauchi, Borno, and Gongola. Buhari then became the first governor of Borno State from 3rd February 1976 to 15th March 1976. In March 1976, following the botched 1976 military coup d'etat attempt, which led to the assassination of General Murtala Mohammed, his deputy, General Olusegun Obasanjo, became the military head of state and appointed Colonel Buhari as the Federal Commissioner for Petroleum and Natural Resources, now Minister. In 1977, when the Nigerian NPC was created, Buhari was appointed as its chairman, a position he held until 1978. During his tenure as the Federal Commissioner for Petroleum and Natural Resources, the government invested in pipelines and petroleum storage infrastructure, The government built about 21 petroleum storage depots all over the country, from Lagos to Maiduguri, from Calabar to Gusau. The administration constructed a pipeline network and connected Bonny Terminal and the Port Harcourt refinery to the depots. Also, the administration signed the contract for the construction of a refinery and an oil pipeline that would connect the Escravos oil terminal to Warri refinery and the proposed Kaduna refinery. Let's look at as divisional commands held in the Nigerian Army. He was General Officer commanding the 4th Infantry between 1980 and 1981. General Officer commanding the 2nd Mechanized Infantry Division, January 1981 to October 1981. General Officer commanding the 3rd Armed Division, 81 October to 83 December. The coup d'etat of 1983. Major General Buhari was one of the leaders of the military coup of December 1983 that overthrew the Second Republic. And the inception of the coup, Buhari was the General Officer commanding 3rd Armored Division of Jos. With the successful execution of the coup by General Buhari, Tunde Diagbon was appointed Chief of General Staff, the de facto number 2 man in the administration. The coup ended Nigeria's short-lived Second Republic. A period of multi-party democracy revived in 1979 after 13 years of military rule. According to the New York Times, the officers who took power argued that the flawed democracy was worse than no democracy at all. Buhari justified his military seizure of power by castigating the military government as hopelessly corrupt and promptly suspended the constitution. Another rationale for the coup was to reconnect economic decline in Nigeria. In the military's first broadcast after the coup, Sani Abacha linked an inept and corrupt leadership with general economic decline. In Buhari's New Year's Day message, he too mentioned the corrupt class of the Second Republic. As head of state, the structure of the new military leadership of Buhari between 1983 and 1985 in Nigeria since independence resembled the last military regime, the Obasanjo-Yar'Adua administration. The new regime established the Supreme Military Council, a Federal Executive Council, a Council of State, the number of ministries, and of course, so many other. According to decree, he created the now dreaded, let's go there, say these laws, it made decree in a number of ministries were trimmed to 18, while the administration carried out a retrenchment exercise among the senior ranks of the civil service and police. It retired 17 permanent secretaries and some senior police officers and naval officers, in addition to new military administrators, promulgated new laws to achieve this aim. These laws include the Robbery and Firearms Tribunal, Decree for the Prosecution of Armed Robbery Cases, and the State Security Detention Service Decree, which gave powers to the military to detain individuals suspected of jeopardizing state security and causing economic adversity. And of course, according to Decree number 2 of 1984, the State Security Service and the Chief of Staff were given the power to detain without charges individuals deemed to be security risk to the state for up to 3 months. Quite an interesting one. So much to talk about this man. And I think if we keep looking at just that, it'll be pretty difficult. And he was the military head of state. He came back, he became a civilian head of state. In fact, it was one president that craved for power with so much passion. He has been the only presidential aspirant that have gone for the presidency 4 times and failed, and they got it finally at the last hurdle, and they became president. He's tried it under the CPC, under the APC, and the AC, you just name it. Buhari has been described as a man with a calm demeanor, a man that has so much humility, that has zero tolerance for corruption and indiscipline. But however, his coming to power in 2015 was premised on the fact that so many Nigerians believed that there's so much insecurity in then Northeast region, and the level of indiscipline within the rank and file of the military and the public service and the general and the Nigerian populace would be nipped in the bud if someone like Buhari came. He had so much emotional votes at that 215 elections, and of course, he came to power with so much expectations on the electorate from him, but all that were not achieved in the 8 years. Insecurity became monstrous and multifaceted. It spread from the northeast into the north central and north south, southeast, and the entire Nigerian landscape, as we are presently seeing. This era experienced the issue of the start of kidnappings and the commercialization of kidnappings and all that. A lot of people didn't seem to understand what he did. He has been out of hospital since he left power, going for medical tourism in the United Kingdom. But at this last visit to the hospital, unfortunately, he stumbled, and of course, he succumbs to the adversity of his ailments and passed on to glory at a ripe old age. We're discussing the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. What are those things you think he should be remembered for? Is one man that hate him or like him, wherever divide you are, Buhari's name, Nigeria's history can never be written without mentioning the person of Muhammadu Buhari. Let's look at some of his achievements as a civilian president over time. Some of his achievements can be linked to key infrastructure projects, and of course, the Lagos-Ibadan Railway was completed. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, according to them, because I've not been there, saying it was 90% completed. The local bridge was, the Zungeru Hydro Dam Power Project was 95% completed. The Enugu-Onitsha Expressway was 70% completed. The Korodu-Shagamu Expressway, the Siemens Power Project, the Aba Independent Power Project, the Boni Bodu 37-kilometer road, the Yenagoa-Tuoke Road completed, the Ibadan-Ilorin Road ongoing, as at when he left office, the new airport terminal of the Lagos, Kanu, Enugu, and Port Harcourt airports, the Abuja Kaduna refinery was completed, but it has not started producing oil. I don't know how it was completed. The Abuja Kaduna Kanu Expressway ongoing, the Kaduna Kanu Daura Railway ongoing, the Lekki Deep Port completed, the Apapa Oshodi Ojota Expressway under the PPP with Dangote 95% completed, the Warri Itakpe Railway completed, the construction of gas pipeline from south to the north, the Calabar Itu Bridge, the Kaduna Kanu Jigawa Maiduguri Road, the Haidija Kiri Kasama Nguru Road, the Yarwa Zuru Road, the Haidija River Valley irrigation scheme completed, Kauzara irrigation scheme completed, rehabilitation of the Arochukwu Hafia Bendel Road still ongoing, the Area Market electrification project, the federal government's emerging energizing education program being implemented in Federal University in Ndufu, Alike, Nkwo in Ebonyi State, and Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Oka Campus, Anambra State. Completed Ikotek Bene Alaoje Ogojo switching station and transmission line. Construction of the modern medical diagnostic center of the Federal Medical Center. So many completed projects attributed to him. The second Niger Bridge, the farmer trader money, the AKK gas pipeline, the Warri Itakpe train station, talked about that, the welfare for CS, the Tukani jets, etc. So much completed. But there were some great points, some red flags after his death, that in his own state of origin and Kanu state, of course, the northern region, there were some pickets of celebration of his death, like happened during Abacha time. We didn't know why the people were celebrating Keyamutu, but of course, understandably, like I did say in the opening salvo, you cannot truly satisfy every human being. Presently, the federal government has still a 7-day mourning period for the president, and it's been directed that all agencies of government and the subsidiaries should fly the national flag at half-mast. But follow up on that, the federal government has officially declared today a public holiday. The life and times of Muhammadu Buhari. Of course, let me start with you, Mary. Thank you, Mary, for joining us. That's Mary Eze from Abuja office. Mary.
Good morning, engineer. I didn't hear the last thing you said.
Yes, yes. I say we're looking at the times, the life and times of Buhari. What are those things? What's your take on the death and transition of a man loved and hated by Nigerians on different divides?
Personally, if you ask me, I'll tell you I don't really have much to say, because in as much as we try to paint everything good about him because he's lit, when he was alive, were we saying anything good about him? Did he really do anything good? So why should I come here and start making it look like he was one kind of awesome president? I don't really have anything good to say. I don't want to come and start criticizing him either. So that's it though. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Ke. It's not. My name is not Mishak Buhari. Yes, baby. That's okay. Let's get the opinion of Evelyn. And
Um, in my honest opinion, though, hearing is that he has passed away is sad because still it won't change the fact that he was president of Nigeria. He was a president, and you won't strike out. You just named some things he did for the country. You won't overly strike everything out that he didn't do anything at all. But so why these people are celebrating? Celebrating his death. It means they have a reason why they are celebrating. If I should speak the truth, I don't want to say anything bad about someone who just died, who we are mourning naturally. But if you should ask me, I would say the legacy, Buhari's legacy is a disappointment. Yeah, I'm saying that with my full chest. It was a disappointment. It was something that his presidency was something that started like a hopeful change was actually coming. But at the end of the day, it was slow. We're not seeing anything. During his tenure, Nigerians faced what we called like the economy was a battered one. As at then, I could remember a dollar was about 200. From 200, it went to 700 naira. The hardship, like it was a circle of hardship for the people of Nigeria. Not to talk about the area of insecurity in the country. It was alarming at that time because we had so much attack from Boko Haram, banditry attacks. And my major concern brings me to this concern. My major concern is why is it that all the government, all their services, they are not being able to tackle the issue of insecurity in the country? That's one major concern I have. Because right now we're talking about herders and farmers, kidnapping is still ongoing. It has been happening for a very long time. Although I will commend Buhari because he tried to fight, he brought up this anti-corruption stuff. And at that time, the EFCC, they had a lot of conviction at that time. But this case of insecurity in the country has been for long. And I'm so concerned, why is it not something that can easily be tackled by this government? I'm saying Buhari's regime or legacy is a disappointment because when you look at the NSAS protests, you know what happened. Allegedly, lives were lost at that time. So I will come here and say because he's dead, let me praise him. I commended him, yes, he did some things, but they were just talks, a lot of talk. Like he said a lot of things, gave a lot of promises, but we didn't see anything. And when you go to the area of nepotism, appointments, like appointing his people, you will see that, should I say, he favored more of the north. And that's an issue as well that we've been facing in the country. So there are a lot of things to say about Buhari and a lot of reason to see why some people are celebrating death. We don't pray death for anyone. That is not a good thing. You can't give life, so you shouldn't be happy that a life is lost. But if we should talk about his time as a president in Nigeria, I would say it's a huge disappointment. Nigeria went into recession twice. So are you generally going to say this was a president that did right for Nigeria and we should be clapping and celebrating? Yeah, we'll mourn him. He was a president, yeah. President of the country, yeah. He did some things, yeah. But overly, for the overview, it was a legacy of disappointment. That I would say.
yes, a legacy of disappointment, Sisters Evelyn. We're looking at the life and times of Buhari, and just not the life and times, we're looking at leadership in Nigeria, basically. Buhari's regime, let me go to his first shot at the presidency as head of state. He promulgated Decree 2. He brought up the Armed Robbery and Firearms Tribunal Act, Armed Robbery and Firearms Act. And I remember I was during this regime. If it was now drug trafficking, I'm sure they will not be trafficking drug because the regime, there were three young men. Can't remember that were killed at Babish Bar through firing squad. They were indicted for drug trafficking. I remember only one of the names, Bartholomew Owo. And it was very emotional for Nigerians. A young man, one was 29, they were young men. They were tied to the stake under the decree. And of course, after being sentenced to death by the tribunal, and that was a very emotional period for a lot of Nigerians because they felt that the amount of drugs carried and the punitive redress was too much of too far apart and it did not sit well with a lot of Nigerians. But that was Buhari for you. It was strict, and of course the drug peddlers were shot and at the Ideal Babish. It was in the 80s and I think 1984 or so. And we equally recall at that time some of his legacy. Drew a lot of times that period, people ascribed the sternness of his leadership to his number two man, General Tunde Diagbon. And for the first time in our history, Nigerians became orderly. There was war against indiscipline. You do not jump queues wherever. You don't ask people to join queue to enter bus. Everybody wants to. It's an unconscious attitude. Everything became orderly. That was a period in Nigerian's history that a lot of people looked forward to and expected I was going to reenact all that again during the second coming. But you see, as a military head of state, there's a big gulf between military leadership and, of course, civilian leadership. The decisions are unanimously not vested entirely on you because there must be consultations, because it's a democracy. The National Assembly must veto. The party that brought you into power must have a say in certain decisions before you use your executive order as the commander-in-chief to make pronouncements. You are not just of your own. As much as you are the father or the leader of the party, there are still some considerations that needs to be put in place. Expectations not met, yes, without doubt. A lot of people expected so much from the Buhari administration. There were so many issues of corruption that were not tackled the way people expected it to be tackled. So many cases of corruption, monies that were found in places. Who brought money, we do not know. The owners of the house where the money is, we cannot relate. And all that has gone down with the wind. Nigeria, we saw issues with National Assembly, money is being displayed, money changing hand. We saw a certain governor of Borno State receiving dollars, stack of dollars in exchange for whatever. Corruption was enshrined. It was in his regime that the proclamation of if you come to the ruling party, your sins will be forgiven, started rearing his head. And every thieving politician that have stolen our collective commonwealth started jumping ship from their different parties to the APC so that their supposed sin can be forgiven. The Buhari administration came with a lot of expectations that were not met, like I earlier on said. With due respect to him and the spirit, he had some strong points though, but it was limited by his content and capacity as a leader. His content limited his vision, and that allowed. There was even a time that people were saying the Kaaba, his cousin Malami and the late what's his name again? The Kaaba that was around him were the people actually ruling the country. And in 2017, it was insinuated that Buhari died in London, and of course, a certain Sudanese called Yusuf has been cloned as a replacement for Buhari, and everyone took it hook, line, and sinker. Not a lot of people thought that was. Most people rather took it hook, line, and sinker. They said, Nigerians, bad news flies with a lot of intensity, and people were on the divide. Even at his death presently in London and his arrival of his corpse this morning, the corpse arrived this morning from London. It's going to be buried before 12 noon today. Then the state burial from the airport, the base state burial at the airport as a Grand Commander of the Federal Republic and Grand Commander of the Order of Niger. He's going to having a state burial. Everybody is there. But then, what am I saying? That is the accumulation of what life is all about. Vanity upon vanity. So I begin to wonder, why do our leaders seek to always hold on to power with so much grip, like a metallic bond, that all they think about is about themselves. They never look beyond satisfying the expectations of the electorate that put them into the offices they have aspired to be. They don't seem to meet up with their campaign promises and the manifesto of their political parties. Well, unfortunately, most of our political parties truly do not have manifestos or ideology. Our politics have become, it was one thing I expected Buhari to do. During the Jonathan administration that ended in 2015, in 2014, there was a national confab. We have 456 representatives of the 36 states of the Federation and the informal sector were converged in Abuja to brainstorm on redefining the trajectory of our democracy with that confab. The confab was like a constitutional review. Everybody was given a platform. Every region was given a platform to say what they want. And in agreement, they brought out the resolutions. And it cost taxpayers money in 6 months to the tune of 1.6 trillion naira. I wonder what they were talking about. I wonder how much that money could have done to a sector of the economy, how much it could have done to our refineries. And today, like every other policies of this administration, or rather of administrations that we have had, of leadership that we have had, we are very good in policy formulation. Our biggest problem is policy implementation. Jonathan lacks the willpower. Jonathan is a good leader, no doubt. But then he was limited by the forces. He do not understand. He's a good leader, but not a good politician. Because politics is different from leadership in Nigeria. You have to synchronize the both of them, make them work in pari passu for you to be able to be called an effective leader. Jonathan lacks the political will to sign that into law because people had divided opinions after they had finished the confab. The confab projected a one term for president, one term for governor, and so many other projections. I know they didn't like it, so definitely wasn't going to fly. But your representatives agreed to that. In Nigeria, we have turned politics into a career. We have canonized democracy and turned politics into a career, and that is why you see we are practicing the highest and most expensive, the numerical highest and most expensive kind of democracy in the world, where a beggar today gets into politics, he becomes a billionaire in less than 3 months, to the detriment of the electorate. Nigeria is the only country where the politicians never subscribe to electoral expectations after they have been sworn under oath. Probably, just probably, we should be swearing with our traditional Ogun, or you name our traditional deities. I mean, maybe, just maybe, to put them in checks. The magnanimity of our different religions have allowed them to continue to aspire for power without care on the expectations of the people. We spend so much for frivolities. On the parts of government, I do not see why a government should be celebrating what is a right for the people. A government does a job, it starts celebrating. A government builds road, is cause for celebration before they now commission it. So many other things, so many to talk about. So Mary, let's look at leadership. What is that? What has been the problem of leadership in Nigeria? What has been the problem from your perspective?
I think is one of the problems we have with leadership in Nigeria is that uh, unfortunately, I would say Nigerians have not been lucky with good leaders because they don't prioritize us as a people. Because if you say democracy is for the people, right? It means there should be some level of accountability. There should be some level of transparency. There are a lot of things that happen in this country that, to me, I would say there is no accountability and there is no transparency. Sometimes there was a time that Sheon was interviewing the minister, right? in a TV broadcast, and he asked him a question, that what was the discussion that was held that made them to settle Fubara? Because when they were having issues, when the UCAS was in place, everybody was hearing it, the heat was on everybody, right? And the next thing we see is that it's like they've settled, and he was like, so when you people had the meeting, what happened? And what did he say to the presenter? Now, what is your business? Yes, if we had a closed doors meeting and we discuss on something, and you now the most important thing is that there is no longer a problem in River State. What we wanted was that there should be a problem, but unfortunately, they've said there's no issue in River State. We should stop asking what their discussion was or what their agreement was. And you see a lot of people frowning at it. A leader saying it openly in a TV station, that what is our business with the discussion they had. So there should be some secrets. Then it's wrong. Now, we have a lot of insecurity issue. One thing is, for the ex-president, I wish he so rest in peace. But a lot of lives were lost. It's so sad. That is the truth. If we can tell ourselves the truth, a lot of lives were lost. And this person was feeling so nonchalant. And the only thing he does is come out to say he wasn't aware that a particular thing was happening in the country. How? And we are calling him a president. Anytime they ask him, I wasn't aware that this thing was happening. It was, I didn't have a knowledge that this thing was happening. What kind of thing is that one? I didn't want to talk about him because it's just so annoying. People were dying.
He's always
A lot of
country.
unemployment. And this man is coming out to tell you he wasn't aware. At least Tinubu one is even better. That he will tell you that he knows, but he's doing something about it. But this man's slogan was, I wasn't aware that a particular thing is happening in the country. People were dying. A lot of things were happening. And you kept on saying you weren't aware. And you still had the guts to come back for second term. And because we are Nigerians, what do we know? All we know is collect whatever they are giving to us and put the person back. So if you ask me, the question is, what I think has been the problem of Nigeria. What I think has been the problem of Nigeria is, first of all, we've got leaders that are so selfish. They are so selfish that they forget about life after now. They forget about that death exists. You see that they are actually here telling you that today's public holiday is true. If you come out, everywhere is actually locked. The road is empty. People didn't go to work. But you know that if these people keep thinking, or if they in any way think about death, I don't think what they are doing right now, they'll keep on doing it. I don't think they would have made Nigeria to be this stagnant for years without improvement. But unfortunately, they don't think about death. That is it. Just like what Ari said, people will live forever. Maybe they think they will live forever. They think it's only Buhari that will die. The rest of them will know how to do something. Maybe clone or duplicate themselves so that they will live forever. I don't really think, I know that leadership is inspired, right? I don't really think that as a leader, you should have any level of selfishness in you. You can't lead people if you are selfish. What are the goals? These are the things we don't consider. And I think the presenter from TVC was saying Peter Obi was so desperate that the president should just, even if it's just 6 months, allow him to come and read for 6 months, let them see what he will do. Then I'm just looking at her. First of all, as a media personality, you're not even supposed to be talking like that. You call him desperate because a picture was circulating of him sharing food in an occasion, and you say selfish. Do you know that we don't try to even listen to what these people say? We don't try to listen to what we think they can do. We just felt like people should be there because they're of the same tribe with us. People should be there because they're of the same religion with us. Then how long are we going to continue to be stagnant in this country? It's so sad. It's so sad. Then when you think about the godfatherism pattern, it's even alarming. Because in as much as we prepare for 2027 election, if the people we hope or we expect to be there, they are not there, then what about if these people at the end of the day tend to, I know that yes, maybe he will still go back. Then after his turn, or after his regime, because they call it turn, after his regime and he's leaving, is he not going to put someone from his own, you understand, his own party, or someone that will also be accountable to him? How can a whole full country, you understand, be controlled by few individuals? Then on the other hand, it looks as if we are not doing the needful. We are not doing what we are supposed to do. We are not. Honestly, so sad. It all boils down that the selfishness that led to corruption. Because if they are not selfish, there won't be corruption. If they are not selfish, there won't be insecurity. There won't be this high level of unemployment. That is what I think.
It's really sad. You know, the laughable thing. I won't say I should laugh over someone's death, but there's something laughable and something to be learned here, like the location where Buhari died. You know, these people, when they have any health issue, they keep running outside the country. They want to go abroad because they feel, I don't know if there is a stream of life over there abroad. Like they can get the best treatment or they
Is it
won't
not still
die.
Nigerians that will go and
That's
meet
what
them?
they,
Is it not still Nigerians that will go and meet
that's
them?
what they feel.
Still Nigeria.
So with the death of Buhari, I don't know if it will awaken them to know that it's not just about flying out of the country for treatment. If you can actually make your own health system here better, there's no need going through the stress. See how old and sick, fragile Buhari was, and he was flying more than 6 hours just to get to where he was receiving treatment. And at the end, what happened? That's why I said it's kind of laughable because it feels
Shetima should go and
like
bring the cops. Look at
Yeah,
how
go
shame. I
abroad.
don't understand. Shetima
Yeah,
should go and
exactly.
bring
I
the
was
cops.
coming there. Shetima
Shetima
and
should go and
Gbajabiamila
bring
should
the
go and
cops.
bring cops. I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
They would have been telling us that it's
Why
United
can't-
States. We are complaining about Trump. Are you sure we are still going to complain about Trump? Maybe this man understand what he's doing. No, it might be a punishment.
Well, yeah.
But can we come back and fix our place?
if we had a good health, if we had a good health system here and he was receiving treatment here in Nigeria, we're they going to like face this. This is challenging. Now you want to go and it's shameful, I would say.
No,
You are
maybe because of
preparing
the
to go
high
and bring
level
your
of technology
ex-president
there. They are good in
down to
science. We
Nigeria.
believe that they can give him life. No, maybe it's not about the health. Maybe we're expecting that they will give him life. Another extra life based
Yes,
on
now that's what I was saying.
second gods that they
Maybe
are.
they feel
Can
there's
you imagine?
there's a,
We have a whole lot of
That's-
Nigerian practitioners that are based there.
that's
You
the
are leaving your
mentality.
country to go and meet your country members in a country where we have bad hospitals. So you when you talk about
Focus,
legacy, talk about this man's legacy. At least it was not like he was aspiring to be a president and couldn't emerge as one, then died. But he was once, 2 times, in my own time. You understand? I'm talking about the one I experienced. He was once, so he has been there. Please, as regards health, what did he do? What did he do? Are you going to tell me that even to his death, his family won't be comfortable? Are they going to be poor again? They'll be comfortable, they'll be happy. But what about the country? What were the things you were able to do to make it livable? You're always coming out to say you're not aware that a particular thing is happening. I don't understand. What are you there for?
How will it be
Yes,
aware?
you can't
Someone
be-
that is
someone
not
to
always
contest
in the
for second
country.
time. You will not drop after first tenure. You don't know what is happening in the country. You came back again to contest for second time. This is so annoying. It's so annoying and it's not
I
stopping.
always see that it's not stopping, Mary. It's so painful. You know,
It's not stopping
I was
anytime
listening to both
soon.
of you.
After the public
There was
holiday, they will go back again. Wickedness. No, that's how they'll be planning on their wickedness. Wicked deeds against Nigerians.
Exactly. They think they want to live to eternity. You see, I was pained for two things. I was pained for two things during this Buhari's death. For the fact that the president, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, asked the vice president and the chief of staff to fly to London to go and escort cops back. There are family members that were there. There were other top government functionaries. We have an embassy in Abuja House in London. What impact is that going to be to the society? Fly to London and go and bring the cops, escort the cops back. I'm sure probably they did not even change their clothes. As they got to London, they carried the cops into the plane. They are back in Nigeria now. That is one. Then
What are they escorting
secondly,
me for?
I
Are
have-
they going to see the body?
thank you. Are they going to raise the body? Are they going to excursion of the it's already a baggage. They've already baggaged it like cargo. So I mean, I don't really know the essence. The another thing that really broke my heart, and I felt terribly bad about it, was the fact that another former president, or rather another former head of state, Abdul Salam Abubakar, opened his mouth with joy to say that himself and Tinubu were in the same hospital, that he just got discharged and got home before they now called that himself and Buhari were in the same hospital.
Buhari.
He just got discharged, dead. And he rushed back to the hospital to commiserate with the family. Then I asked myself a question. If all these leaders, and it's a private hospital, do you know we have so many standard private hospitals? I was listening at I was watching a video on Facebook this morning. Some Nigerians flew, they want to go and see the hospital. They flew to London, they're in the hospital, they were doing videos there, and I was convinced with that conviction that we have so many, it's a private, it's not even a government also. We have so many standard private hospitals that are better than that private hospital in Nigeria, Abuja and Lagos precisely.
But they don't
Lekki
believe
area,
in
we
it.
have about 3.
They don't believe in it.
And most of these doctors, yes, these doctors that they see there, some of
They are
them are
Nigerians.
Nigerians. So look at the money they will pay. And do you know the government was paying £3,000 every night for the president's stay there? The presidential aircraft that took him will be there on standby with him.
Did they tell you about that one? If not that he died. Was there any after? We just know that we are in debt. We are
Our
in debt.
leaders,
There are a lot of things you
our
don't know.
leaders just
There are a lot of things we
enjoy.
don't know. There are a lot of things you and I don't know. It's the one that have bust. That's
Do
what
you know?
yeah.
Do you know how
How
much
will they
is
be-
3,000 pounds to naira
A day.
a day? Oh. How long is
Did
this
you
stay in that
ever hear
hospital?
it?
That a night,
Did you ever
a
hear
night
them
is
say it
3,000 pounds.
Before now, did you
Forget
ever hear
these
them
people.
say?
Because what happened to investing that money in our healthcare system here in
Thank
Nigeria?
you.
What happened to it? At least we'll have a lot of things to achieve with that money. 3,000 pounds
Money
a
is not
night
there.
per night.
If we
Imagine
don't
you
believe
stay
in
there
even
for
Nigerians,
for
do you know
months.
Nigeria, there are still hospitals in Nigeria that the white people, you understand, are doctors inside. Like they flew from outside the country to come and
Yes.
make some maybe surgery
To work
and they
here.
need them. If their professionals, they call it. There are still white people that work in
Yes.
Nigerian hospitals. I don't even understand. At least I've seen 1 or 2 white people that work in Nigerian hospitals. The only thing you tell me is expensive, not for everybody. It's not everyone that can afford it.
Can never,
So
it
it's
can
not like
never be
it's
as
that bad.
expensive as £3,000 a night.
Can you imagine?
No,
It
that's
can
what
never
I'm
be as
saying. I'm
expensive
talking about the
of
common man. The
But
common man
not-
cannot afford it.
To
But
help
them that they are the
to
leaders,
So
Buhari
they
it's
can
now,
not me
afford
and
it.
you.
common man, yeah. We can't afford,
Yes,
yeah.
we can afford it. But then you should make the primary healthcare and public healthcare facilities affordable
They
for the
don't even
common
have
man.
the facilities, and
What are we
yet it's
talking
still
about?
expensive.
We are looking like a country that has lost its objective. We have a failed policy, and our style of leadership is more of grab. Even
Why
the
will
devil,
every country
at times, he
not be
thinks Nigerian
treating us
politicians
the way
want to
they
do
like?
it.
They'll be treating us the way they like. Because now he died in London. So the news that circulated everywhere in London. So why will London people be seeing us? Even though they are making money from it. In
Exactly.
their heart of hearts, let's be sincere, we dare not be laughing. Look at these people.
They will be
I'm not happy.
laughing
I
at
don't
us
talk
now.
about this man. In their heart, they will be like, look at these people. They don't want to go and fix their country. That is it now. Eh? Every time you look at one of our rich or one of our big leaders, if they're having health issue outside the country, everything. The first thing first they want to even acquire when they get there is private jets. No, private jet is not. In fact, if the one that they have in the villa is not good, they might even do anything to make sure they buy a new one. Make sure the services. First of all, see that private jet. It's the number one priority. They might not tell you, but they must be private jet too, because that is their goal. Travel, up and down. This one is he's even now the ex-president. You're not hearing the money that they have been squandering or spending on his health. Then imagine when he was the president. Let's be realistic. He has traveled that time from the Nigerian purse. Tomorrow they come and tell you there's no money in the country. If there's no money in the country, so a lot of people, there are people that are gaining from the money, just that you're not seeing it. There's money in the country. Are there not businesses
Hey.
going on?
Mary, there's so much money. Just unfortunate that we have, if that they put retirement age for politicians like 70 or 65 too, like they put for workers or civil servants and every other worker.
I
It would have been good.
tire.
Because
They put for civil
lot of-
servants, but they don't put
a
for
lot of
president. Who put that constitution, sir?
them,
Who put that?
it's the people that the politicians put it to suit themselves. It's sad, Now, can I ask a question? Why do you think, Mary, that people are people are celebrating in Kanu, Katsina, and some part of Kaduna death. It's shocking to me. What
I
do you
don't
think
even
would be
understand.
attributable to
You
that?
know, we are here. Like, what if Elizabeth was making a speech that he favored most of the North? But you know, I'm still surprised. The Northern people are even the ones that are celebrating. The truth is, you will not go to the South and see anybody dancing, or go to the East or the West. No, they respected themselves. They are just on their own. But it is still that Northern people that are making noise everywhere. So if you are saying that he favored them, maybe to them he did not favor them. But I know that countless times in Nigeria it has been shown on the
So
media,
I'm,
right?
I'm talking
Where
about
he tried to,
I was
where he
talking
tried
about
to
the
help,
appointments. The
unless
appointment, most
I
of
know
his
that
appointment.
in terms of skill acquisition, this thing, bikes, both keke, like there are a lot of things that he was doing to help the poor masses that they were showing on the media. Or what I see is media, allegedly. So if he was doing those things, it means he had the interest of the people at heart. He was giving them so that they can start doing businesses with it. If you have bike, it's not to do okada. If you have keke, it's not to ride keke. You understand? So those things I think they were gaining from it. So I don't know why they are now there celebrating. But if you ask me that why do I think they are celebrating, it's because they're not gaining. We are selfish in nature. As long as they felt like they did not gain, it's a problem. And insecurity was
No,
even another
Mary.
point.
Yes, that's the point. How
Insecurity was
can
a
you be
major
giving
problem.
to people who are dying and you expect them to celebrate you at the end?
Yes, and he was
Because if
never
you want to
aware
talk
of
about
anything that was happening.
if you want
The
to talk about the
insecurity
issue
was
of Boko
alarming.
Haram, where did all that happen? It was mostly in the north. You hear bombing here, bombing there. It was
And
mostly in
people
the
were
north.
advising Goodluck
And
to
what did
step
he
down.
do? What did
People
he
are
do
advising
about
Goodluck
it?
to step down, that with this man there will not be insecurity. He will fight over his cocoa. The
Exactly.
same thing
Yeah.
they deal with Tinubu. You know our problem? We believe so much in big talk. When we feel like
Like
this
the
person
big
has
talk.
power, yes. All the big talk. What happened? Nothing. I think we should start leaving big talk, and start looking at potential. The person we think that can do this thing. Not about the big talk they're telling us, because it's
The
not
person
working.
you think can Mary, the person you
Yes.
think can do this thing, does he have 50 million to buy presidential ticket? No.
But
The person you
what's up
think
with that amount of presidential tickets? What is even
it's
happening?
just too much. Governorship ticket 30 million, House of Assembly, State Assembly 50 million or 20 million. Why is our democracy so expensive?
Is it that they
It's so
are scared? They are
expensive
trying
to
to
live.
scare people away because not everybody that can afford it.
They are encouraging godfatherism. That is why people do not serve the people, they
Yes.
serve their
Yeah.
interests.
Yeah.
People, the person that bought phone for you,
Yeah.
you will serve his interest. For someone like Wike to say, I bought phone for everybody in Rivers State, all the House of Assembly members, and even Governor Fubara, whose money did you use to buy? Was that your personal wealth? For a governor to open his mouth and say, I gifted Tambawa, Sokoto State Governor, 500 million. Was that your personal money? Your own personal money that you worked for? Would you have gifted him 500 million to help his state do something? Meanwhile, your state is crying from oil spills, degradation of environment. You are gifting a northern state that have produced 80% of our presidents and heads of state since independence, and they still could not define through what leadership is all about for their region. They could not see the dividends of democracy. Who is fooling who? A National Assembly that is a hive of criminals and criminality, thieving populace who are desperately out to suck the resources of this country for their own self-aggrandizement? Or are we talking of our states where leadership is not, where political office holders have come not through election but through selection, with the backing of godfathers, with the backing of past governors or past leaders? Say, this is my interest. That way, kind of politics where you want to make appointment as governors, you now call leaders, political leaders, please send one name for House of Assembly, send one name for commissioner. And the name they are sending, you have not evaluated, you do not know the capacity. Look, we are the only country in the world presently that 80 to 90% of the people really knows are mediocres. people without content, people that it is when they get into power, they start buying certificates and degrees, buying degrees, buying first degrees, buying second degrees. When you have the intellectuals, they chase you out of contesting with the kind of money they put forth, with the kind of aggression. They call you, they coerce you. If you know you want to live, we know your wife, we know your family. We are just telling you, we know your children's school. We call where your wife works, where your children's schools, and they tell you that you should forget that your political ambition. How much have you spent? Let them give you. Is that what democracy is all about?
That is what degree is supposed to be sold. Tell me they buy degree.
Exactly.
If not for corruption, is degree supposed to be sold?
Corruption is everywhere.
Even in the school.
So I feel so.
The academic sector is there. Because they tell a lot of people, even our celebrities, that buy degree. Is it supposed to be sold?
Yes. When the people that are selling the degree are the same, Mary, the people that are selling the degree are the same people that made announcements of winners in elections that they aided to rig. All the returning officers are professors. The INEC chairman is a professor. That is why I don't empathize with lecturers when they have issues with government, because the government is a creation of your pronouncement. You have seen, you have collected money. That's why I respect the Vice Chancellor of Futo, one lady that refused. Was it Futo or so? Yes, I think it was Futo. She was the returning officer for one state during the election. She refused to compromise because they wanted APC to win that state or so. She refused to collect money, and she went public on air to tell them that this is my stand, and my stand remains my stand. And she was celebrated in the whole of Owerri and beyond, and in the whole of Nigeria for her fidelity and integrity. Honorable men and women are scarce because we have thrown honor to the dogs. All we think about once they get into power, you know, it's politicians that do all the contracts through their proxies, both at the federal and state level. They do all the contracts. They use it as dividends of democracy to politicians to aid and abet their stealing and looting. What are we talking about? We are faced with a diversified vision where negativity has beclouded positivity, and we have thrown our consciences away. We have thrown it to the dogs. But I know it is redeemable. Generation of leaders that I've seen all my life, I've lost it. Until we start having accountability, until the institutions are strengthened and people are made to go to jail to do time for crimes they committed, economic crime, social crime, financial crime, oil and gas crime, majority of them in the National Assembly and the corridors of power are criminals. They should be in jail. They should be in jail. So many governors should be in jail in a Senate client. And if they have used them as scapegoats, the quality of politicians that will be coming up would have changed the narrative. But when honorable men see that dishonorable men are still around power, people that have killed to get power, that have killed to get positions, politicians that have blood on their hands, it will be difficult for honorable men to partake in our kind of democracy, Mary. I am weeping. May the soul of Buhari rest in peace. But I know, and all our faithful departed is our president, no doubt. But what I am saying remains what I will say, that Nigeria has produced more bad leaders since independence. The good leaders we had were even before independence. From 1963 is when we started producing. Look at, have you seen Nnamdi Azikiwe give speech? There was no clout. Have you seen Ahmed Bello give speech? Have you seen Satafawa Balewa give speech? Have you seen Sir Michael Obara give speech? Have you seen Abed Macaulay give speech? Have you seen Sam S.L. Akintola give speech? Have you seen this Ibadan politician? Have you seen that? These are men of honor. They were concerned not about themselves and their region alone. They were concerned for Nigeria. These are regional leaders. These are some of our founding fathers. Have you seen Tunji Braithwaite, the first chairman of PROP? Even the first, Second Republic, we had some honorable politicians. We have Waziri of Great Nigerian People's Party, GNPP from Gongola State. We had the People's Relation Party. We had Tunji Braithwaite as the presidential candidate. UPM, these were political parties that had ideology. We have the MPP. We have Nanda Zikiwe. These are orators. They don't read, even presently, even at times when we write speech for politicians, they still cannot read the speech you have written for them, you have rehearsed for them, because they don't have it. You can't give what you don't have. What emanates from them is different from what you even wrote. Their pronunciation, their diction, their use of English does not even encourage the electorate. Our founding fathers were a generation of leaders that felt that Nigeria should be won, even though the marriage was mismatched. But they worked, or they were working to see that we can make it work. And that is the failure of this present generation. I rest my case for now.
You know, it's really sad. And we can't say there are no good leaders out there, or to generalize it and say all the leaders are bad. We have good leaders here, but most of them are weak, in the sense that in Nigeria, with the way politics is going, you can't just come out and talk nonsense. If you love your life, that's another thing. If you love your life, you can't just come out and just spew nonsense, like, or though it's the truth, you want to tell the truth, you want to be accountable, but you don't have the right. That is how it seems with Nigeria politics. You don't have the right. That is, if you love your life, you want to protect your life and that of your family and keep short. There are so many leaders out there who know deeply what is going on with the system, who would want to speak, but there is something that is keeping them short. Because in Nigeria, it seems like politics is not just about a free and fair deal in Nigeria anymore. It's like you're going to acquire this power, like you are gaining this power either by buying it, or there is a strong backing behind you. That is how politics seems now in Nigeria. Are you going to say having bad leaders, and it has been happening for a long time, that we have not been able to erase corruption, will be totally the people's fault to say, okay, we voted these people in? The people, we the citizens, 100%, because even our vote doesn't count, no matter what we do. You know in your mind that there are a lot of people, or you even see it, the percentage of people who come out to say, this is who we want to support, this is who we want as our leader. But at the end of the day, you get the shock of your life. Like, you'll be so totally surprised how someone else get into power.
That's true.
So with the way things is going on, like happening in the country, I won't say it's totally our fault, because our vote doesn't count anymore. And I won't say we are in the democratic system, because it's not working. We only say it by mouth, and we celebrate the day when it comes. That this is a democratic day. We are celebrating it. We are happy. We are this. But deep down, we are not happy, because the country is not right yet. The system, the institution is still weak. Nigeria problem is at its peak. And to start bringing solutions to this problem is not a day thing. It's not something that will happen in a day. I won't even say it will happen in a year. And I don't know what these people see. When they are not in power, they kind of promise things that will make you feel that this is the right person. This is the right person. They make you feel this is the right person with the kind of promises they come up with, the kind of things they show. So you can't 100% like trust people that want to get into power, because I feel there's something in there. Immediately you get into power, there's something there in that seat. Like when you get there, it's as if everything change. You tend to forget your promises, and you start doing things in your own accord, not to serve the people. So I don't know actually what we have there and how we'll be able to know that, okay, when the right person come, how are we going to recognize that, yes, this is the right person for Nigeria? We should appoint this person. How? Because if we're able to detect and know that, okay, this is the right person that is fit to rule us in this country, then I think we will begin to solve our problem from there. But the question now is, how can you tell when the person come, you know that, yes, this is the right person for Nigeria? That's one question that has been bothering me. The one thing that has been bothering me, because a lot of leaders have been coming and we tend to think, okay, this is the right man. Then at the end of the day, it becomes a total failure. So I don't know, engineer, if you have, like, how can we tell that this is the right person for the country when the person comes? How? Because even with Peter Obi, I will say I'm giving my 100% guarantee.
Yeah,
That when this man gets to become right, I won't say. So how are we going to know that, yes, the right person has come to save Nigeria?
It's very simple.
How?
Very simple. You cannot know who the right person is until the person is there and starts working. You can only do an evaluation from the work the person is doing. Because, when somebody has been emotionally bastardized in different relationships, even when the right person is said to be coming, you wouldn't agree in totality that this person coming to my life now, is it going to bring emotional balance? So until you start working, until people start seeing your kind of leadership, how it is affecting the people, how your policies are transforming governments and government, how your policies are transforming the lives of the electorate. That is the only time you can say this leader, he hasn't become the right person then, no, but this leader is on the trajectory of good leadership. And after time, you wouldn't say, when we all start the term, we don't know who's going to carry first. We don't know until we have gone through the entire term, done tests and done exams, which is the evaluation index for you to say this is the best student, this is the worst student. So it is not tied to a personality, because humans are not God. The only person that can come for an election that I will stand for is when God is involved. And it's God's government that I know that God is the only person that is a father, a mother, and is a true leader. Every politician, whether you are a man of God or you are whether you are an imam or whatever you are, I take whatever they say with a pinch of salt. I have been so hurt by political language, but not at this time will I take them serious. Mary, let's go on a break. Then, you want to something? You want to say something? Go on a break. Then we'll take the.
Just something very short, just like what the engineer said. I think is what they do outside being the president or outside being the leader. That is what we tell. That the people always say it on the show now. What have you been doing, like, outside being the president? Is it until you get there you start working? Let's say for Peter Obi, what are the projects he has been doing that has been favoring the masses? It is no going to eat with poor people. When they see you bending down, sitting with them, his own strategy. I don't feel bad when I see them doing that.
I swear.
Do you have companies? Have you been able to employ Nigerians? What are the business that you have put in place? Are you empowering agriculture? Like, you now begin to say, what are the things this person has done outside being a president? With that, I think you can actually tell this person will be a good leader.
Mary, they will tell you he has not gotten the fund. So whose fund is he going to be using to do all that?
How can you not get it? You want to pay 50 million for tickets? Not possible. Not now again. That's it. Because where is the money coming from? Let's go on a quick break.
Get ready, London. Nigeria Week 2025 kicks off July 24th at the Hippodrome Theatre. Celebrate the giants of Africa as the DG of the National Orientation Agency hits us with what makes Nigeria the true giants of the continent. Day 1 starts with a star-studded opening ceremony as we greet to Scobie, Marvin, Boyson, and HP Zendo. Then, the UK Nigerian Creative Summit. Hear from Nollywood legend Zeb Ejiro, NBC DG on broadcast rules, and Film London on filming in London, and the British Film Institute on funding and distribution opportunities. Dive into panel and co-production and funding discussions and skill exchange with Middlesex University. Cap the night with a special screening of Zeb Ejiro's Sakobi.
Angela is not who you think she is. She's a demon. Who dies first?
It is a Nollywood Magic, Nigerian Week London 2025, where culture meets business. Tickets at eventbrite.com. The best of the best, July 24th.
Welcome back, viewers, from that quick break. We're still on the show, Rise and Shine Nigerian ART, with the topic Life and Times of Buhari. So far so good. Our reviews about Buhari. Our reviews about Buhari has been just the truth, though. No hate.
Yes,
No hate.
we're not
No
partial
man.
now. We spoke
Yes,
about
no hate.
the
No
things he
malice.
did.
I just think the truth. What you think? Because you can't keep painting it now. He's gone. He's gone. We wish that he so rest in peace. I think this is the time for newspaper review, and we'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. Oh, the PowerPoint is not
The
working.
Punch is
I was thinking it's going to be
okay. The
white.
Punch newspaper says here. The Punch newspaper from here says Daura Kingsmen Associates reflect on Buhari's final moments. Daura Kingsmen and Associates reflect on Buhari's final moments.
Final month.
On the riders.
Month.
You said?
What is written on the Punch? Month. It's final month.
Okay, final month.
Final month. Buhari's final month. Sorry, yeah. Then
Yeah.
the riders goes forward to say state burial begins in Abuja today. Interment to follow in Katsina. Abdusalami says, I was hospitalized in the same London facility as Buhari. Look at you are saying it with pride. Jonathan visits Aisha in London as Amosun Lawan and others arrive Daura. Tinubu appoints Akume Ribadu others to burial committee. Federal government delegation visits Aisha, Mamandaura, and Malam and Abdusalami in London. And on the front page, you can see some of them cry there. You can see the picture of Vice President Shetima when he visited the house. You see Florence Ajumobi, Mrs. Florence Ajumobi, Ajia Nana Shetima, the wife of the Vice President. You can see Mrs. Aisha Buhari being consoled. I don't know that. I really don't understand whether they're expecting him to stay forever. The federal government and so many things. If you want to get that, you can go to
They love
Punch
God,
newspaper.
Even when our
Is
grandfather dies, are we not crying? Don't we cry? He's a family member. He's their blood. So
It's an emotional thing.
He's a father to
you
many.
say no, I mean they live forever. He never reach 100 years now, so they go cry.
Person don't reach. No, not really shy. At least he's not on wheelchair, so they must cry. Soldiers on top rider there. Soldiers bad traditionalists from Awujale's Muslim funeral. Yes, the Awujale of Ijebuland, then a friend of Adetona, a friend of Buhari, actually passed on the same day Buhari passed on, I think. For history's sake, in November 1983, it was said that by January, the Awujale will be dethroned from his position. By January, he will be dethroned or he will be replaced as the Awujale of Ijebuland. But fortunately for him, on the 31st of December 1983, there was a military coup that hoisted the civilian regime that wanted to remove him in January. And Buhari came back and said she should remain as the Awujale. And from that day to date, he has been a very good friend of the Buhari family. So he chose the same time to die. So if you are in Nigeria and you truly love, you love Buhari
Yes.
Someone
so
choose.
much,
Someone
Which
so
one
choose
is
when.
you
different
can,
time?
He
you
said,
can
Is it by power?
chose the same
same
time.
time.
Did they choose it?
If you love Buhari and you want to empathize with the family and Nigeria, please, the choice is
And you
yours.
did not choose the same time. Oh,
Let's go to tribute.
death came. You could not
Yes,
handle
now
it.
that's it. It's just a coincidence there that
Okay.
they died the same time. Not
Except
he
that.
chose-
Yes, the Tribune, every still the same. They said all set for Buhari's burial. The corpse has arrived. Tinubu to receive body in Katsina. And the rider there says the body arrived by noon. Interment, body arrived Katsina by noon. And the interment for 2 p.m. today. Federal government declares public holiday. Condolence registers to be opened in all MDAs. MDAs means ministry, departments, and agencies. And of course, ICC, the International Conference Center, the National Assembly, embassies all over the world, missions all over the world, and legislative quarters and all that, there will be condolence registers that will be opened. So those of you that are selling notebooks, hardcover, there's business for you. So you can, in all the state capitals today, we buy notebooks to open condolence register. We must celebrate the life and times of our leader. Still on the Tribune, still Awujale again. Ijebu stands still as Oba Daytona is buried. Incidentally, both of them are Muslims, so the burial, they won't stay out for too long. Let's go to the Daily Trust. I think that's the last one. We took Daily Trust and the Guardian and the Vanguard. Okay, they're all saying the same thing. Let's look at the Daily Trust. Nothing much. They're arrested for Buhari, burial as Nigeria mourns. And the rider underneath says, residents flee as bandits attack Niger communities, kill 6, adopt over 20. Mary, there was such a time, I told you I schooled in Niger State. Until a couple of years back, Niger State was one of the most peaceful states in North. Very peaceful. Once I wear my Baba guy, we could go out any time of the night. You're at peace. Once you can even speak Hausa, you're at peace. You'll be related with holistically, and commerce is efficient. But now, bandits have taken over most of Nigeria.
Why would there be insecurity in Nigeria? Just like you said, there was no insecurity. Do you know why? These people are people that will tell you that for sure they are contented with what they have. They do the farm work as a means to earn a living. Both old, young, even a small child knows how to go and get firewood from the farm. They also do the artwork. I think engineers should understand better. You understand?
Of course.
There's a particular kind of artwork you see there. So it's a place for
business.
And those their farm work, all those their farm produce, they come back and sell it. There is not even reason for stealing. You understand? There is this level of contentment that they had in that state. Unlike now. Then now this insecurity now that is now alarming still boils down to the fact that they still go to their farm to kill those people that are going to farm, to destroy their farm products. So tell me, the state has changed. It has changed. This was when people always find or look for admission in the schools in Niger State, because there's federal university, there's state university, there's federal poly. So there's a college of education in Mina. A whole lot of schools are in Niger State. Now you see few people only going there again because of the insecurity.
I never believe. Why? Very unfortunate, Mary. Thank you very much. And let's take the last paper before we call it, and that will be between Vanguard. Okay, let me go for Vanguard because they're all saying the same thing. Buhari, Tinubu sets up 9-man committee. One thing I like Nigeria for, they are good at setting committee. This 9-man committee now, they will not release budget.
You know
how much now? Committee must sit.
They are going to make money from this.
Yes,
everything in Nigeria is business.
Business.
That's why Fela sang that's wahala for dead body and the owner of dead body.
Double wahala.
Double wahala for dead body and the owner. Double wahala for Nigeria now and the owner. Now we get Buhari. So, but people make money out of every situation in Nigeria. And some of the riders, in fact, everything is the same. Some of the riders there says visa overstay. U.S. threatens Nigerians with deportation and permanent travel ban.
Not just US, all countries now, they are strengthening their visa. I don't understand what's going on. Is it that it's like Nigeria is becoming hell? Whenever you commit a crime somewhere, if they want to punish you, they send you to Nigeria.
Abi,
That is what is happening here, because I don't understand the reason why they are putting all these laws, all this policy in their visas. Country. They no
They
longer
don't see
want
us as
Nigeria in their
people that
country.
passing cross
It's
now.
corruption.
Even the
They don't
fraudulent
want you to come and
spoil our name. Oh. They do a lot of
yeah,
fraud.
wherever we go, it seems that like we are going to stain their country. Like the country is pure white. We want to stain their white. That is
and it's
really
very,
sad.
very
It's shameful,
unfortunate.
yeah.
Meanwhile, it's very few people. We have more good Nigerians away out of this country.
I mean, Nigeria that carried this Donald Trump election in their head, though. So Nigeria that carried it, they hawk it like gala. They were carrying it like
Because they were so happy, huh?
So
the
unfortunately,
man don't send anybody. He knows that Nigeria likes him, but what did he do? He still lock up.
you know the work, my dear. I think that's the final one. Let's just go to Mr. and Mrs. on the Vanguard on a lighter mood. Mrs. now is speaking to Mr. She said, I was away for just 3 weeks and I asked Mrs. Smith to come over and help with household chores. Anything wrong in that? Then Mr. frowning his face said, you've not answered my questions. Why a 60-year-old woman? Why not a young girl? That's what he's trying to say. That's the on that note. That's how we're going to end today.
Why
And I
don't
for
you
send-
do today?
Yes, I wish that the girl was here. Would have answered better.
better. For send either Mary or Evelyn. Then they go send.
But why would you say 60? What did that one want to?
Uh-huh.
Which strength does that one have to?
No, get some 60-year-old people when get strength when they carry firewood. Do not
60
go there.
years.
Yes, so.
The woman is being cautious. You know that. when
On
you
behalf
young
of
girls.
Arise and Shine on SRU TV, our leader, Daddy Chris, and every member of this team, Mary Eze, Evelyn Choma, and Mishak Oza, we want to wish the family of our erstwhile president and head of state, General Muhammadu Buhari. We want to pray that God gives them the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. And to all Nigerians, as you celebrate the life and times of Muhammadu Buhari, may God accept the souls of all the faithful departed in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Good morning and enjoy the other parts of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Get ready, London. Nigeria Week 2025 kicks off July 24th at the
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation.
Get ready, London. Nigeria Week 2025 kicks off July 24th at the Hippodrome Theatre. Celebrate the giants of Africa. As the DG of the National Orientation Agency hits us with what makes Nigeria the true giants of the continent. Day 1 starts with a star-studded opening ceremony as we groove to Scope, Marvin, Boyson, and HB Zendo. Then, the UK Nigerian Creative Summit. Hear from Nollywood legend Zeb Ejiro, NBC DG on broadcast rules, and Film London on filming in London, and the British Film Institute on funding and distribution opportunities. Dive into panel and co-production and funding discussions and skill exchange with Middlesex University. Cap the night with a special screening of Zeb Ejiro's Sakobi.
Angela is not who you think she is. She's a demon who dies first.
It is a Nollywood Magic, Nigerian Week London 2025, where culture meets business. Tickets at eventbrite.com. The best of the best.